Welcome back to our daily life series. As we continue going through this, we want to touch on all the different ways that our daily life activities impact us and influence our movements and influence our nervous system. The phone is a big one nowadays. So I'm going to demonstrate to you guys what are some considerations when we're talking on the phone. One of the big things I see when we're talking on the phone is as soon as someone lifts up their hand to talk on the phone, that shoulder goes up. They start talking, they're unaware of what's happening, and guess what? This whole entire time that I'm doing this, you can see how lopsided I am as I'm sitting here talking to you guys or standing here. As I do this, my muscles in my upper trap here are lifting up my shoulder because I forgot how to use other muscles to do this. When this happens, the nervous system kicks in and it starts to learn to keep those muscles turned on. So it's going to keep sending that signal. And the problem is, if you talk to someone on the phone for a long period of time or several times throughout the day, and you're chatting, you're focused on something else, you may be emotional with that person, your nervous system is learning and learning and learning to keep that shoulder up. And the problem is, as you're breathing, you're resetting that nervous system to continue to train that muscle to stay on so your shoulder is up. Now, when you go to turn off the phone and you go away, all of a sudden that shoulder can still be up because the nervous system was trained for a long period of time to keep those muscles turned on. And so then we start ending up with a situation like this where your shoulder is higher than the other side. And unfortunately, because this happened over a period of time, you may not even recognize it until someone points it out to you. You may never recognize it until you get pain, until you feel a knot there and you wonder, why is there this knot there? Well, often, more so than not, it's because the muscle has been trained to contract in that shortened position and stay that way. Now, it will take some conscious effort for me to drop it back down, to relax it, and to get it back in a neutral position where it's not working. But if I jump from a phone call onto my computer and start working, and I'm not aware of that happening and taking those few minutes to let go, that muscle is going to stay turned on. The nervous system is going to continue to activate, and it's going to continue to send muscles the signal to contract and stay active. Now, instead, we can learn how to hold a phone differently. It takes some practice, and it does take some work. If you think about, you have a phone in your hand, you want to get that phone to your ear, but you want to keep the shoulder down. So if you start by initiating the movement through your hand and then let your elbow come up and rotate, you can keep that shoulder down. So as you can see from the side, I'm bringing my hand up, my arm is coming up, my elbow is coming up as it should. So I'm pivoting about this elbow, and at no point did I overuse these upper trap muscles and lift up my shoulder. Now as I talk, I have to also be aware not to lift up that shoulder. As soon as I get lazy, I can easily pop up that shoulder. And instead of these shoulder muscles working, these upper trap muscles working, I can now feel more of my deltoids working, which should work to lift up my arm. And this is going to provide a much safer way to hold the phone because now I'm using the appropriate shoulder muscles to lift up my arm instead of hiking up my shoulder to my head. It's a very different scenario, and it provides much better positions for my body so I don't crimp on nerves in my neck, so I don't cause shoulder problems and impingement. It helps me with my back, my mid-back, my low back, all just because of the way I changed my movement to get this phone to my ear. It's something that we want to think about as we're talking on the phone, especially if you're doing any type of desk job. Obviously, even better would be something like AirPods, so you just pop them in your ears and have your phone down. But sometimes we're not able to do that, or if we work in a situation, or maybe you don't even have your AirPods, I would still start practicing what to do with the phone and how to reach, because this type of motion with your arm is applicable all throughout your life, whether you're going to wash your hair, scratch your ear, anything like that. If you think about the hand moving, the elbow coming up, you get that type of motion instead of hiking up the shoulder. It does a lot of good for your body. It decreases impingement in that shoulder and really helps keep your body free. So one way we can just decrease stress in our body and not kick ourselves into that fight or flight mode. I hope this was helpful. If you have questions, please reach out to me, amy@paberinstitute.com. Love to hear from you, get feedback. If you have other topics you want me to cover, please reach out. Have a great day. We'll see you again next week. Bye.